Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. And now, for your host, Kimberly McLemore.
All right, good evening and welcome to WSBI, your Resource for Success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring entrepreneurs and women-owned businesses from across the country. I am your host, Kimberly McLemore, and welcome to a special edition of tonight's show. With us, we have Tyrone Smith, a former NFL player, author, motivational speaker, and a business professional. Tyrone is a nationally recognized lecturer and motivational speaker. After he retired from playing in the National Football League, Tyrone dedicated his life to empowering youth and young adults. He established First and Goal, Inc., a nonprofit organization focused on providing programs and services to enhance academic, social, and moral development. Every life has purpose, and everyone has opportunity to do a greater good in the lives of others. It is this belief that has driven Tyrone to implement successful youth development programs throughout the state of Texas and California, and also create the Journey Beyond Dreams college experience program that has enabled thousands of youth to gain the confidence needed in themselves and their abilities to succeed and graduate from college. Tyrone's philosophy, which stresses educational prowess and proactive social behavior, helps today's youth and young adults become the leaders of tomorrow. So without further ado, please help me welcome to my platform Mr. Tyrone Smith. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm doing good, grateful and thankful for every healthy breath, truly.
Well, yes, it's great to have you on. And of course, with the way things are today, yes, those should definitely, everybody should be thankful for what they have and being able to get up because, there are so many other people out here in a much worse predicament. But we are not going to talk about the negative things right now. We're going to dive into who you are. I'm excited about having you on. So Tyrone, before we jump into all the business stuff, why don't you tell my listeners just a little bit more about who Tyrone Smith really is?
Man, Kim, that's such a loaded question, but I think I can work with it a little bit. When I think about who is Tyrone Smith, right? that is a loaded question, but I can start here. Tyrone Smith is a young man that had to overcome a lot. They had to think from a place of being lesser than. When I think about my life and my story, I think about everything I had to overcome and endure to get to where I am today, but yet still being inspired and motivated to do so much more. My mom didn't finish middle school, my dad didn't finish high school, and I didn't grow up in the best community here in Houston. I grew up in the inner city of Houston. I grew up in Third Ward. And my oldest brother, was in and out of prison. My middle brother, he was that young man that would always succumb to peer pressure. And I grew up as this kid that was always seeking and desiring attention. But my brothers got all of the attention because of their negative behavior. So there was so much I had to overcome and do in regards to my life and my goals and my dreams. But yet I persevered, right? I looked at myself inwardly. I embraced the hope and love and support that I got from other people to achieve the things I've actually done in life. And I was motivated and driven, knowing that I had to be determined, but knowing that there were people along the way that would be with me to help me succeed and achieve various things in life. But I'm here, I'm grateful, I'm thankful, and I'm ready to tell a story.
Well, all right. Well, hey, I don't know if I can go any further with that. That was actually very motivational. Thank you very much. That was amazing. So we're going to dig into a little bit more about Tyrone and what you've gone through and some of the other things that you have achieved in your life. And then, of course, all the giving back that you have done since your days of coming out of being in the NFL. And, of course, we got to talk about that first because, when people hear NFL, they're like, okay, well, who is this? Okay, if you don't know who this man is, he is a former NFL football player from the San Francisco 49ers. I got that right?
Yeah, you're good.
Yes.
You're right.
Okay. And running back, correct?
No, I played defensive back.
Defensive back. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. I was trying to get it right. All right. So let's talk about more of your childhood. I mean, you, like I said, obviously had come from not one of the better parts of the Texas area and Houston area. And, you had there were some issues, of course, with your brother and story. And like you said, your parents didn't have the best of everything to provide you, but at the same time, you have succeeded. And so talk about how beyond just those challenges and all the other motivation that came, because like you said, you were driven, but what else drove you besides the fact that you could see beyond Houston, so to speak, in your background?
I mean, what really inspired me was that, my mom and my dad, here it is, you have a woman that didn't finish middle school and you have a man that didn't finish high school, but yet they were hard workers. They provided for my brothers and I, and yet I saw the dedication and that work ethic in regards to wanting better for us. Mm-hmm. And I always remember, the things that they had to go through, deal with, and endure for us to actually be in a better place and space. I remember when I was younger, there was nothing for my mom or my dad to take a homeless person in. I mean, for me to get up in the middle of the night and there would literally be a homeless person in the kitchen eating some of my Frosted Flakes that I was looking forward to the next morning.
Right.
And so
right.
It was nothing for my mom and my dad to bring people into our home, and they were givers. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, they are really giving people, and they're really dedicated to working hard. They would sometimes both have 2 and 3 jobs at a time. Mm-hmm. And in the mid-'80s, we moved from the inner city of Houston, 3rd Ward, which there was a lot of crime and violence in 3rd Ward, to the suburbs of Houston, to Missouri City. And I was really grateful and thankful for the opportunity to actually move to a place where we actually had our very first front and backyard. I'm like rolling in the grass every day because that was my first time having the front yard and the backyard. But mm-hmm. It was challenging for me because when we made that transition in the 4th grade, I went to a particular school called Ridgemont Elementary. And I remember on my first day of school in the 4th grade, they were going over multiplication and division. And I'm excited. I'm in the class. They're going over multiplication and division. Mm-hmm. And my teacher, her name was David, and she was cute. And I don't know why I was thinking about her being cute in the 4th grade. But all right. And so here it is. I'm in the 4th grade. She's going over multiplication and division. I had no idea what she was talking about. Mm-hmm. In the 4th grade, I didn't know my multiplication or my division. So what they did, they moved me to a lower level class. And when they moved me to a lower level class, I got picked on, antagonized, bullied, called the hood kid, the ghetto kid, the not so smart kid, the big head kid, mm-hmm. the ghetto kid. So they're picking on me, and I'm not being aware about who I am. I'm a 4th grader. And so I acted out. I was mad and I was angry because I felt that I was less than. Right. And in the 4th grade, I went to the office over 50 times in the 4th grade. 50 times. I get to the 5th grade. My 5th grade teacher, Miss Betty Lou Williams, she sat me down. She said, Tyrone, I've looked at your record and your report. I believe you have the capacity to do great. I want you to respect me. I'm going to respect you. But I want you to know if you need any help or assistance, I'm going to be here with you along the way. That was the first time a teacher actually told me and let me know how much she cared and was willing to support me. Mm-hmm. And in the 5th grade, I didn't go to the office not one time. That was like a defining moment for me, despite the battles, the struggles, the circumstances, and the situations up until that time in my life as a 5th grader, where I saw a ray of hope because somebody took time to look me in my eyes and let me know that they care outside of my mom and my dad.
Right. And that's what's so important. It's not so much where you come from. It's just getting that opportunity. And she gave you the opportunity and just looked at you like she looked at any other child and said, hey, I know you can do this. And that's the beauty behind this portion of your story. To some degree, it's sad, though, because it's a shame that we always have to have that start of, oh, well, this kid's from here. They're no good. So we're going to make fun of them. We're not going to help them. We're just going to let everybody beat them down. And immediately, why is it that the system always has to put our children in the lower class level? Because they assume, because they hadn't had the opportunity to be taught something, that they're ignorant and don't know anything. And so that's the part that's sad about it. But it's always amazing. And I love it when somebody else steps up to the plate and says, no, we're going to give you an opportunity. Because once you can learn it, and they have that knowledge, anybody can move forward, so I'm glad that you at that time realized the importance of being able to change just from 4th to 5th grade, that, hey, this fighting every day and this acting out is not getting me anywhere per se. And even if you didn't understand those words and didn't realize it, but like you said, just that one time that epiphany came to you, that one human being decided to treat you like a human being, and you were able to overcome that. So then you get through the years of the journey of being in elementary school, and obviously, you're getting ready to get into, high school and so forth. So talk a little bit about what was preparing you during the years of high school to get you into college, because you are the first generation college graduate of your family. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, so what really prepared me, I think, was just the ebbs and flows of life. I mean, to really think about it, because here it is, I was a first generation college student. Mom and dad, as you know, didn't finish school. Mm-hmm. And I went from elementary to middle school. And in middle school, I was just trying to figure life out. Most middle school students, they're not sure. They're trying to connect. They're trying to identify who they are based on what they want to do or desire to do or see what people are actually doing around them. And it was just a time where I was just trying to figure life out. But I had another, serious moment in my life in the 8th grade when my mom and my dad got divorced.
Oh, wow.
I remember coming home. Yes, I was coming home from football practice in the 8th grade. My mom wasn't there. I was like, Dad, where's Mom? He was like, she's not here. She's gone. I'm like, okay, she's gone. She's gone where? She's just gone. And there had been tension in the household. And my dad basically had I have a half sister that's 6 months younger than me. Mm-hmm. And so my half sister staying with us in the household at the time. And so something basically went down between my mom and my dad in the situation regarding my half sister. And so here it is. So basically, Mom was just fed up. So Mom left. And so Mom left. I'm like, okay, where's Mom? I'm mad and I'm angry. I'm like, dude, where is Mom? So Mom is gone. I didn't care about school. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't care too much about life. And when I got to school, when my mom had left, I started acting out. I started getting in trouble all the time. I'm fighting. Mm-hmm. I'm fighting all the time. But the thing about it is I had to stop fighting all the time because I wasn't winning all the fights. You can only hit people and run so many times before they catch you. You know what I mean?
True. Right. True. But you were acting out because you were missing that piece of your life, and that piece was your mother. That's somebody you had looked up to. And so did she come back? Okay, so you said they got divorced. So did you ever get to see her again? So tell a little bit more about that portion of the story.
Okay, I end up seeing her again, but me acting now is me crying out for attention. And it got to the point I stopped fighting because I wasn't winning the fight. So the next thing that I stopped doing, I stopped bathing. I didn't want to take a bath anymore, for real. I didn't want to bathe, so I'm dealing with my emotions in an unhealthy way. So I didn't bathe. I would walk down the hallway. People would be like, man, somebody is stinky. I'm like, I know, who is it? And it was me, but I didn't know how to address my own issues. And so here it is. It was literally 3.5 weeks went by. I didn't bathe. I didn't brush my teeth. Wow. It was a hot, humid. I missed the bus. I didn't too much care about school, so I missed the bus. I had to walk to school on this hot, humid morning, and I'm sweating, hadn't bathed in 3.5 weeks, hadn't brushed my teeth, got to the school, and I realized how bad I smelled. And I realized at that moment I had no control over the fact that my mom and my dad got divorced. At that moment, I realized I had to take control over my life based on somebody coming into my life, which was my mentor in the 8th grade, Coach Dennis Bradley. As my mentor, he told me, Tyrone, I know things aren't the best in your life right now, but you still have the capacity to grow and grow beyond this current situation. God still has a purpose and a plan for you, young man, despite where you are right now. And so here it is. This coach took me in. Everything that he did, everything that he expressed, I would be in tune to see how he reacted, how he carried himself, how he reacted with his family, how he reacted with kids, how he reacted with other teachers, how he just was the epitome of what I wanted to be in the man. Coach Dennis Brandon, to this day, we talk at least every week. And so he was really instrumental in helping redirect my life in regards to getting out of that dead space in regards to my mom and my dad being divorced. But I did see my mom eventually, but I ended up staying with my dad. And the thing about it is my healthy alternative with everything I was dealing with and going through was football. So football would level set me with everything that was actually going on in my world. And so here it is. I'm still desiring to go to college. I want to go to college. And so I'm staying with Dad. I'm in high school now. I'm doing pretty good as an athlete. I'm not one of the top athletes, but I'm a hard-working, dedicated athlete. And in the 10th grade, I'm staying with my dad, and my dad lost his job. My dad was a truck driver. My dad lost his job. He's a truck driver. So we lost the house and we lost our car. So I was once homeless. And I would always hang out with my friend Smokey, right? I would hang out at his house a lot because his mom, Miss Patricia Landhart, she cooked the best food. So I always hung out at his house all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I told Miss Landhart about the story about my dad not having anywhere to stay. We were staying from place to place. And my dad came to pick me up one day from a friend in a friend's car that he borrowed. Miss Patricia Landhart went up to him and said, Tyrone told me the situation about you all having no place to stay. Won't you let Tyrone stay with me? Now here it is, Miss Patricia Landhart. This black woman, was single with 2 jobs and 3 kids and was willing to take me in. She took me in for 2 years. I was on her insurance until I finished college at Baylor University.
Wow.
So here it is, this woman took me. Really, she didn't have to. She's not related to me biologically, but she have a love and desire for supporting people because she have a big heart, and she took me in. And so here it is. She took me in for 2 years. I reconnected with my mother 2 years later when she moved back into the community. I ended up staying with her in the home. I had a phenomenal senior season at Willow Ridge High School in Fort Bend ISD. I was only a 1-year start on varsity in high school. I played very well. Where I had over 50 Division I offers from Baylor, Ohio State, Temple, TCU, Rice, UNLV, Kansas State. All these colleges were offering me scholarships. And I was excited. I was grateful. I was thankful. My grades were intact. I had already passed the ACT, right, the SAT.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was right there for me. And ended up deciding to go to Baylor University.
Wow. Okay, so I'm going to take a step back because listening to your journey, you've gone through a lot of things that no child or no young man or any individual should have to go through during the time that you were growing up. And the thing that I noticed that through your story, you were talking about how you have first it was the teacher who stepped in to help you get through those moments in your life where you were angry because, you didn't understand something, but she's seen that in you. And then the second time it is the coach who also stepped into your life and said, hey, you can't control the circumstances that has happened to you between your parents, but there's something special about you. And then the third person who steps into your life is your friend's mother, who you love their cooking and you felt that you could trust her enough to tell her your story. And then she takes you in for 2 years. Those are 3 amazing individuals who seen something in you more than, you knew you had something, but probably they see more in you than what you could have possibly imagined that your life was going to go in the direction that it did. And like you said, football was your haven to help you get through the things you were getting through. But I'm sure you had no idea that even though that was your haven, that you would end up into the NFL. So you worked hard, you got the good grades, you obviously graduated from Baylor. Your degree is in sociology and social work. And so then talk about a little bit of the transition of what it takes to get into the NFL and how that felt for you to be chosen to be a part of that.
Man, the NFL, what it really takes, the people ask me all the time, what does it take? It really takes like hard work, dedication, drive, and commitment to actually get to the NFL because, there's a lot that go into preparing your body, preparing your brain for everything that you need to know in regards to the specific position that you actually play. But one thing about me was always actually like dedicated. I was committed to the game of football. I was committed to learn any aspect of the game that will make me a better person. I was willing to go the extra mile when it came to the small, detail-specific things that will allow me to excel as an athlete. And remember, in high school, I was only a 1-year starter on varsity. I wasn't a 2-year letterman, a 3-year letterman, or all-state or all-American. I was a kid that was dedicated to the game, that was committed to the game, that worked hard, and that prepared myself to make the most out of the opportunity. So I tell any and everybody, when you think about making it to the NFL, how much are you willing to commit yourself to just sacrifice to prepare your mind and your body for it?
Right.
Because the thing about it is you have to be somewhat insane in regards to how you eat, how you train, and how detail specific you be to actually play on that level. Because I understand this. You can buy anything at Walmart or Target, but you cannot buy hard work, dedication, drive, commitment, or perseverance from Walmart or Target. That has to come from within. And so when I think about playing in the National Football League, it was because I really dedicated myself to the game and I left it all on the field, so to speak. Right? So I think one of the things that people may not do in life is really give their all to whatever it is they desire to do. They may sell themselves short. And when they sell themselves short, that's when they actually second guess, how much more they could have done. And I think that's kind of like how I approach the game of football, and in turn I approach life as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously that dedication and that dream, that driven passion that you have has absolutely helped you throughout the rest of your life and the things that you've been doing since beyond being in the NFL. So let's dive into your business, First and Goal Inc., this nonprofit organization. It sounds amazing. So talk a little bit about what First and Goal Inc. does and how people can get involved, and is this program continuing on to this day?
Okay, yeah, it's still continuing on. We will be celebrating 20 years of First and Goal Inc. in October. Yes, the mission of First and Goal Inc. is to provide the necessary tools, resources, and outlets to help you be better members of society. And so our whole premise and goal really is to help young people to become better versions of themselves. And my whole thought behind First and Goal Inc. was really to create an organization that will actually impact the lives of young people. Because remember, there were so many people that gave and supported me along the way in my journey. Mm-hmm. So I always remember that. So me and the team giving back to First and Goal Inc. is a byproduct of people actually supporting me and others along the way for us to do the things that we've actually done in life. And one of our primary programs is our Caring Share Mentoring program, and that's a program that we would go into a school in a group setting and sit down and talk with kids for about 45 minutes to an hour about choices, decisions, purpose, self-awareness, setting goals, conflict resolution. And we would talk to students about all these different things in life, because when you think about it in life, all behaviors are learned behaviors. And we have a lot of young people who have a lot of learned behaviors, but yet those learned behaviors may be dysfunctional behaviors, and they just recognize those dysfunctional behaviors in regards to how they do life. But let me help you do life the right way. That learned behavior that you're embodying is really not the best way that you should go about executing life. Let's redirect your mindset and your perspective and let you know that there is a better way. And so that's really the whole premise of what we do at First and Goal, is really to kind of get young people to think outside the box in regards to how they do life, and not pretty much shunning their parents or their caregivers or individuals who actually love on them, but let them know, how can you do it by being better in regards to maximizing opportunities that are going to be before you. And so it's been 20 years, and we started with one program. We have multiple programs now, and it's all been based on that one program that we had, the Caring Share Mentoring program, and we saw all these other needs that students had, like if they hadn't been a part of a leadership academy, or hadn't been a part of a college experience, or hadn't been a part of an academic-based program to actually motivate and inspire them. And out of that mentoring program, we developed all the other programs that we actually offer as an organization. And when I think about our primary program, the Caring Share Mentoring program, is really designed after a program I was a part of at Baylor. It was called the Bears That Care program.
Oh, yeah.
And the Bears That Care program was a program where I had a mentor. His name was Walter Abercrombie. He was a former NFL player that went to Baylor, and he was my mentor. And so every week, my freshman year at Baylor, I had to go and sit down with him for at least about 45 minutes to an hour.
Wow.
And I could identify with him because, he was an African-American male, first-generation athlete that was in college for the first time. So the journey I was taking, he already took. So I would sit down and talk to him every week, and he would actually just help me out in regards to navigating through college life, and navigating being a first-generation college student, and navigating through the anxieties and stresses that I was dealing with and going through. And so I designed the Caring Share Mentoring program from the model of the work that Walter did with me in regards to building out this program to actually connect with students. And so it was just truly a journey to kind of see the development and growth of our program and organization, and we're still growing, but it really gives me pure joy to kind of just connect with students that we work with over the past, and just hear and reflect over how the program has really impacted their lives. We have this piece called Power Sessions now, where we're bringing alum in, and we talk about where they are now, what they're doing, what program within First and Go impacted their life, and how can they pretty much lead based on the life that they have in regards to leaving a lasting legacy. So it's a phenomenal work. I'm thankful for it. I enjoy doing it, and I have fun every day.
Well, it definitely sounds like you're having fun. But the thing that I keep hearing is all these amazing people that have been implemented into your life. And then here it is, you have built that same replica by, building a village to help all these other children, because that's how you had to learn, and that's what helped you be able to move forward. And so it's just listening to your story, not that your story is different or unique, but the thing that is unique about it is how you have dedicated your continued life and your continued work. When you hear about all of our children who come from the inner city, and they're, then they not sure where they're going to lead in their life, but here it is, you have gone from the NFL and you have made something very special out of your life. How many years did you stay in the NFL, Tyrone?
I was at NFL for 4 years. Yeah, 4 years.
Okay. And after 4 years, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I had an unfortunate injury where I actually fractured and broke my T5 vertebrae. Went through 8.5 months of rehab, and throughout those 8.5 months, I realized I had to do something else in my life, because the game of football meant not for long at that point in my life.
Right. But that's the beauty. You didn't give up. You continued on, and you utilize everything that you've learned from being a young man all the way up to your adulthood to doing something to help other kids, because you were those kids. And that's the thing I love about what you continue to do. So with all the things going on, with the pandemic and everything, how have you had to restructure the First and Goal organization?
Oh, man, we've all had to pivot. I mean, we've all had to pretty much redirect our purpose in regards to how we do work. So right now, everything is virtual. So we're pretty much doing virtual programs. And what's interesting is that, Kimberly, I think it was maybe in February, I had an opportunity to actually connect with an organization by the name of NEPRS Inc. And it's crazy because I connected with them in January, but I did a virtual presentation. In February. So in January, we have a Read to Succeed reading program. And through the Read to Succeed reading program, I want to launch the program virtually. So I launched the program virtually with NEPRS, and I want to kind of just tell my story and launch a program for students in regards to the importance of reading. And so I ended up connecting with NEPRS. And the crazy thing, you think about NEPRS is more so it's basically virtual career day. They basically connect industry professionals with students and educators, virtually. And I'm actually going somewhere with this. And so here it is. In February, I had the opportunity to actually speak to over 1,800 students, I think in 15 states and 40 schools, all at one time virtually. This was in February. And I was like, man, this is pretty interesting. And so here it is, March, but we get to March. And so in March, the company, NEPRS, they called me back. They said, Tyrone, you had an awesome presentation. The students love you. The teachers love you. Would you mind doing another presentation virtually about your life, your story to the NFL and beyond? I said, of course. So I spoke to about 900 students virtually at their homes, about 30 teachers and about 20 parents virtually. And I'm like, okay, this virtual thing is pretty serious. It extends your reach. And so working with them over the past couple of months, and then, of course, COVID, this pandemic that we're all dealing with, I had already started thinking process about creating a virtual platform with First and Goal Inc. based on the different things I've been doing with NEPRS. And so everything we're doing right now, we're doing virtual. We're doing our Equip 24/7 leadership program virtually. We're doing dedicated leadership sessions virtually for the local governmental agency here in Houston. It's called Harris County Youth Service Development. And the local schools that we're actually servicing as well, we're doing virtual programming. And we have a program where we prepare students for college. It's called our Journey Beyond Dreams program. And we have a Prepare to Dream program that we do for a school district. And we're doing a virtual element of our college experience program actually in October. And we already have 9 higher education institutions that are collabing with us to make this virtual experience great for the students that we're going to be serving. So we've had to pivot like everybody else in regards to repurposing our mission and our goals, and we're able to actually extend our reach virtually and still be effective. And I've done multiple virtual presentations to students. I have a virtual presentation coming up, I think, next Wednesday with the University of Houston downtown for the Gator Leadership Network series, where I'm speaking to all the incoming freshmen virtually. So, it's about making an adjustment. And, I'm having fun doing it. I'm having fun recreating. I'm having fun, rethinking things that I've actually done in the practical sense, but making it virtual. So it's been fun, but it's been some serious work as well.
Right. But, just to sit here and think about here you took that opportunity to, reach out to this organization. Then you did your first one. Never in a million years would we ever thought that we would be stuck in our homes for 9 months, right? And then here it is, you're recreating everything and doing it again. And now this can be a permanent implementation within your organization because it works. And then the reach is much further, because we can't always be in the same room together, right? So this is an amazing way to continue on with your wonderful work that you're doing there in the Houston area. So I just want to dive a little bit before we close out about, your book. You have a book called Outside the Huddle, Steps to Developing a Game Plan for Life. And I love talking to authors because I'm an author myself. So it's always great to hear your story. And obviously your story, this book is really all about your life, what you've gone through as a young child and all the way up to where you are today. But, talk just a little bit about your book and where the book can be purchased from and just give us a little bit of insight on that.
So basically, Outside the Huddle is a book that really it's about my life, my journey, and it's based on 8 practical principles that I've applied in my life going back to a young kid up until now, where I talk about purpose, plan, process, pitfall, people, practice, progress, pausing in your life. And so I talk about all these principles and how I've applied all these principles in my life, right, up until this day, and how the reader can apply those principles in their lives as well. And so really the book is designed to kind of give you a deeper look into my life and my story, but then give you a practical sense about how you can apply a particular principle to your life based on where you are right now as well. Mm-hmm. And so, I was really excited to actually write the book and to pen this. And even when I was writing the book, I thought about it. I told my wife, I was like, man, it'd be cool to have a journal companion to go along with the book. And so while I was writing the book, we created a 52-day writing journal companion with each of the principles that a reader can actually journal out specific principles in their life based on where they are. You can even use a journal companion without even reading a book. Mm-hmm. And so I was just thankful for the opportunity to actually create this body of work to really think about life outside the huddle, because, I've been in the huddle for so many years playing this game of football, but really it's about outside the huddle in regards to how I effectively engage and do what I'm actually called to do as an individual.
All right. Well, I love the name, Outside the Huddle. So again, it's Outside the Huddle, Steps to Developing a Game Plan for Life for those who listen. So Tyrone, where can that book be purchased at?
They can actually purchase the book on my website, TyroneSmith24.com, TYRONESMITH24.com. It can be purchased on Amazon as well, but if you purchase the book through my website, you can leave a note and I will personally autograph the book for you. You know what I mean? That's the unique thing.
Yep.
Through the website. It's a little bit cheap on the website, and you can get an autographed, personalized copy as well. So TyroneSmith24.com is where they can connect to get the book.
All right. And so I'm going to ask you one more question, and I always ask this for every guest I have because you're in business. What advice would you give to any individual, especially I want to talk more on the nonprofit side because you are in a nonprofit business. What advice would you give if somebody wanted to say, hey, I want to go into nonprofit? What would you tell them to do?
What I would tell them to do is that, really think through what it is that you want to do. Like what's the mission? What's going to be the purpose? What's going to be the goal? What's going to be the objective of your organization? That's why I tell any business owner that aspires to create a nonprofit organization. And I tell them, number one, write down all the detailed specific things that you would desire and like your nonprofit organization to be. Like, right? Just do that. Just get it out your head. And then once you get it out your head, connect with somebody so you can actually have somebody mentor you that can pretty much vet what it is you've actually written down based on what you desire to do. So they can actually walk along with you in that particular journey. Then I always encourage people to go and research an organization that are doing some of the things you desire to do with your organization. So you can pretty much see, what others are doing. And then I would encourage them, find that organization that's doing some work similar to your organization and reach out to them and ask them, how can you volunteer and support to be a part of what they're doing? Mm-hmm. But then, when you reach out to them, let them know about what you're doing and what you desire to do, and let them know how you would like to have their help or support, and just kind of shadow and just support in the work, because that's actually what I did when we established First and Go Inc. When we established First and Go Inc., the first thing I did, I wrote it out. What I wanted to look like. Mm-hmm. I connected with somebody that was actually mentoring me in the process and the journey. And my mentor connected me and told me to give it an organization that I can actually shadow and see how they actually operate and function. And that's basically what I did. And then after that, I just thought I put my specific spins and expectations on the work that we want to do with Personal Goal, not really replicate anybody's organization, but really focus on what it is that we want to do with Personal Goal Inc. And that's why I say for that individual that wants to create a nonprofit, really detail specifically, write out what it is you desire to do. Don't look at another organization first, because that'll throw your mind off in regards to what you desire to do. So I tell them to pen it, put it on paper, find a mentor, research an organization that you can connect with and shadow and see how they do the work. And always be willing to learn. Always be coachable. We have to always be coachable. I mean, even to this day, with 20 years of doing this work with Personal Goal Inc., I'm still coachable. I'm still willing to hear and see what is I can do better to be effective in the work that I do as an individual and as a business owner.
All right. Well, hey, I couldn't have said that better myself. That is excellent information to provide. And I hope all of you listeners are really, truly listening tonight. It has been such a pleasure. But Tyrone, if anyone wants to reach out to you and like to connect with you in some type of way, whether it's business or just needs somebody to listen to them, could you tell us how we can get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can get a hold of me. Of course, all my contact information is actually on my website, TyroneSmith24.com. They can actually connect with me on Twitter. On Twitter, it's Tyrone24, Tyrone 24. I'm on Instagram as well, Tyrone24_7. And you can actually find me on LinkedIn. And so when you think about like the work that we do, Kimberly, is really about making ourselves accessible to support those people in the journey, because, this is what we're called to do. So many people have actually helped me. So I think it's my duty to give back and support the next generation of leaders and social entrepreneurs and business owners.
Well, like you said earlier, you are doing a phenomenal job, and congratulations on your 20 years of First and Goal Inc., your nonprofit organization. I mean, it's something absolutely worth celebrating, and continue the good work that you're doing. You have been a pleasure being on the show tonight, and I look forward to hopefully reaching out to you in another year or so and have you come back on. See how you're doing.
Yeah, you're going to have me back on. We have a major project that we're actually working on right now. It'll be official in a couple of weeks, and so I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah, you definitely bring me back on so I can share with you the insights and everything about that particular program.
Awesome. Well, I will absolutely do that. Got to get you booked in there quickly, because things on this show get booked up pretty fast. So we'll definitely have that conversation, because you had to wait a while too.
I know, but that just really speaks to the work, the awesome job that you're doing, and the capacity, the depth that you offer as an individual. So kudos to you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Again, like I said to my listeners, if you have missed any of this live show tonight, you are more than welcome to go back and listen to the replay. We are on 12 different platforms. Of course, my main one is iHeartRadio, and then we have Spotify, and we have several other ones. And then, of course, I'm on all of the social media platforms, so you can re-listen on Twitter. You can re-listen on Facebook, anywhere. So it's there's no reason to say, hey, I didn't hear this. So please support the platform itself, support Tyrone and his organization right there in Houston, because he is, like I said, doing a phenomenal job. 20 years, there's something to be said about that. So, when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're dedicated to what you're doing in life, things will always work out for you. And then I also want to quickly just say that, hey, WSBI has an amazing program coming up here soon that I collaborate with every year with another organization here in our local area here, because I'm here outside of the Washington, D.C. metro area. And I collaborate with Move with T, LLC, and we do a Purple and Pink Dance Fitness Throwback fundraiser every year. It's October is coming soon, and this is based off of the purple is for domestic violence awareness, and of course the pink is for breast cancer awareness. We do this amazing fitness program every year, but this year we're going to do it on Saturday, September 26th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. and of course it's going to be virtual Zoom. So if you are interested in supporting, because our event, it's amazing because we actually picked two local organizations within our community that we give all the funds to. We split them 50-50. So this year we have, for the breast cancer side, we have the National Breast Cancer Coalition's NBCC that we'll be giving our money to. And then we have Pain to Purpose, Inc., which is a nonprofit organization that helps with on the domestic violence side. And for those who don't know, domestic violence is very close to me. And so it's one of the things that I work with very closely because I am a domestic violence survivor. And so my goal has always been to teach those to understand that you can be more than what people who told you could be, and what you've gone through in your life. You can continue to move forward. And the key thing to moving forward after being abused is the fact that you have to be able to understand the system and know that you can put those individuals away so that you can continue to move on with your life and never let anybody stop you from and telling you what you can or cannot do. It's all about control. So you have to be able to be in control of your own situation. And so please, if you're interested in learning more about the Purple and Pink Dance Fitness Throwback Fundraiser, you can go to at WSBI LLC on our Facebook, or whether that's on Instagram or on LinkedIn. And if you need to reach out to me personally, you can reach out to me at KimberlyWSBILC@gmail.com. And please, support us. We love to be able to, like I said, give the money to those great entities that we choose, 2 different ones every year. So we're really excited about these 2 entities this year. The recipients are excited. And like I said, if you want to get the tickets, you will find those tickets on Eventbrite. So if you go to the Facebook page, you can find all that information there. But also, I just want to remind you that we're also here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. live right here. And we'll see you again next week. So you all enjoy the rest of your week. And of course, we have a long weekend with Labor Day coming around the corner as well. Be safe. Make sure you take care of yourself. And we'll see you next week. Good night.
Good night, everyone. We will be back next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Follow us on Spreaker, www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. View our new WSBI website anytime at www.wsbillc.com and on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram.